Today I'm going to show you how you can run Linux on your Windows machine without destroying or changing anything. Back when I first started tinkering with Linux, you needed a separate hard drive at the least. Either that or you needed like a clean hard drive where you install Windows and then install a second partition for Linux and use a bootloader. It's still this way if you want to do something permanent on your machine. What really sucked back then is if I wanted to try a new operating system, the easiest way was to buy a new hard drive and disconnect my main drive and install this new operating system. I ended up with a stack of hard drives that I bought off eBay with different versions of Linux and Unix on them, and it's not so much that way anymore. Virtualization technology has changed all of that. Now we're going to use VirtualBox from Oracle. It's not quite as good as VMware, but it's free, so there's that, and you can download it from here. So we have VirtualBox installed. This program is both easy to use and powerful. If you want to get a virtual machine going out of the box fast, it works great for that. If you start needing more complicated settings, it does that well too. I've downloaded an ISO of Ubuntu 17.04 desktop from here, and this is what we're going to install today. As you can see, I have a few virtual machines here already. Click on the blue button here to create a new one. Now we're going to create a name for our virtual machine and select the operating system. As I type in Ubuntu for the name, it already selects the operating system for me. Then we click Next. Here we will select how much memory we want to allocate to the operating system. You don't want to choose too much as it will take away memory from the machine you're using as well. I have 32 gigs of memory on this machine, so I'll choose 8 for my virtual machine. Here is where we create the virtual hard disk. I will go ahead and create a new one, but if I had an existing one, I could load it in here. Here's the type of hard disk you want to create. I usually go with VDI because I generally use VirtualBox, but if you use other virtualization software, you may want to create it in a different format. Here's where you can either set a fixed size or a dynamically allocated size. I usually create dynamic because it will only use the amount of space I ask for, although it is a little slower. If you want more performance, you can create a fixed disk size. And here's where we set the expected size of the disk. I'm going to set it to 16 gig, but you can set it to whatever size works best for you. And now our machine is created and ready to go. One thing we'll need to do is set this machine to boot to our ISO. This is similar to how we used to boot machines from a CD, so we fake it here by loading the ISO into the CD drive. Right-click and choose Settings, and then go down to Storage. As you can see here, this is our CD drive. And we want to choose Virtual Optical Disk File. We will choose the Ubuntu CD, and then click Open. And now click OK. Now that we have the Ubuntu machine selected, we can go ahead and click Start. And now it's starting up. Your window size might change a few times as it boots up to change the resolution. Now it looks like we've loaded up the installation screen. Try Ubuntu boots from a live CD. This is the same as putting in a CD or USB in your computer and booting to it, where it never touches the hard drive, but you lose everything once you reboot. Install Ubuntu will actually put it on the system, and that's what we're going to choose. Now here we can choose to download updates while installing Ubuntu. This is always a good idea. Here you can install third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi hardware, flash, things like that. This is basically third-party stuff that you would need for a real operating system. In this case, we don't really need it, so we're just going to download the updates, but not really install the third-party software. Here we can see this computer has no detected operating system, so what we want to do is erase the disk and install Ubuntu. You can encrypt it if you want for security or use LVM. In our case, we don't really need that, so we're just going to click Next and Install Now. Now here it confirms that we want to write these changes to disk. And now it's going to start installing. It's going to ask where we're at. I'm here on the West Coast, so I'll choose Los Angeles. Now here we can select the language, and we've got a ton of different languages here, even English in the UK as opposed to the US. I'm going to select English US. And I'm going to resize this screen a little bit so I can see better. Now here it asks, who are you? So you can put in your name, your computer's name, things like that. So I'm going to put in my name. Jeremy VirtualBox is fine. For a username, we'll put in Jeremy. It doesn't like my password, but I don't care. The account I just created will have super user access, meaning I can do things as root with that account by using sudo. And now it's copying the files over. Okay, and now our installation is complete and we'll go ahead and restart the machine. Okay, and here it's asking to remove the installation medium, which in this case is our fake CD, and then press enter. So we'll go in here to our storage. As we can see, it's empty. So it should boot up fine now. Okay, now we've got our login screen. Now here I'm going to go ahead and select full screen mode by clicking View Full Screen Mode. And this looks a little bit better. And now we're loaded up and ready to go. It's that easy. This is a fully fledged Linux machine sitting here. Here's some applications that we have ready to go. What this is cool for is you can try out new operating systems and see if you like them before making a huge commitment. You could use this for development also. If you want to create a specific environment and develop software for it from a machine that may not be configured the same, this is a great way to do it. There's an even easier way for development purposes to create a Linux environment, and that's called Docker, which I'll cover in a future video. Have fun and download as many operating systems as you can and play around. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel for other geeky stuff, or follow me on Twitter.